Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Star Trek Adventures. We are Tabletop Anthologies, continuing our season finale called The Prize. We are down 2 crew members today due to the theater and the theater work. We have decided to venture forward without them. And with us today are Commander Kullat, Commander Kathee, and Lieutenant Grax. So I'll let you guys say something, and then I'll give a quick reminder of where we left off, and Charlie Mike, we'll start with the leader of this away mission, Lieutenant Grax.
Hello, good evening.
How are you today, Lieutenant?
Doing pretty good, how are you?
Well, I don't know. It depends on what the Admiral thinks of your first away mission lead. We'll have to see what the report says. And also, Commander Kathee, who is on the ground. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, and you have promoted me. I'm Lieutenant Commander Kullat.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Let me fix that.
I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be all right. It's a field promotion.
It's a field promotion? Okay, that's good. Grax did it on the ground. He had that ability. And lastly, our pointy-eared friend, Commander Kullat.
Salutations, Admiral.
So we left off as the away team had basically breached this underground bunker that they were searching for. Some rocks tumbled away, and so did Ensign Morox. She tumbled down the steps that they uncovered. At that point, the team raced down the steps after her. They hadn't seen the Orions for about 10-20 minutes, give or take, along with the Ferengi. They did visit as they were starting their dig, but thanks to some diplomatic words from the lieutenant, they went off. Wonder if they'll be back. So I'll get us to the map here on the undergrounds. We'll activate that. We'll switch some screens. Also, welcome Valard. Glad to have you aboard. Tex, I saw you in there as well. Lurkin. Okay, so nobody look at the screen. Nobody look at the screen, because the lights should be out. Oops.
Boom, boom, boom. Out go the lights.
Let's do this. I'm going to take you guys back to the bridge. Go to the underground. Oops. There it goes. Why is it daylight? Should not be daylight. It should be dark. Darkness and much darkness. Let's do that. There. Is it dark now for everybody, or is it still light? It's still light.
It's been dark on my screen the whole time.
Is it?
Yeah, mine as well.
Parts of it are dark. Oh yeah, I can't see anything now. You just have to reset the fog of war.
Thank you. Apologies, gents. Do not clear lights, just the fog of war. There. How's that? Much gooder?
Much gooder.
Okay, so game is paused on purpose. Okay, so here we go. You reach the bottom of the steps.
Music.
You like it? You reach the bottom of the steps. There's a foggy mist or haze kind of floating around in the area. Morox is at the bottom of the steps. She seems to be fine. She's dusting herself off, and you basically see a couple lights and a bit of a almost like a bluish beam that kind of goes across the entrance. It fills the entire entrance. But that is where you are currently.
It's a trap!
Cue music.
I pull out my tricorder and begin scanning for anything harmful in the air.
Harmful in the air?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a reason and medicine, difficulty of 2.
That's a good start.
That is a good start.
That's an interesting roll.
You keeping that complication?
What is it? 2 momentum.
Yeah, to kill
get rid of it.
Yes, and you have 6 currently.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, I'll get rid of it. Yeah.
Okay.
We have enough in the bank for now.
So you're successful. Your tricorder, it basically reads results. The oxygen is a little lower since it's been underground for a while, but due to the entrance that Forloth and Morox had made with the rocks, it seems to be equalizing. There doesn't seem to be any sort of poisonous gases or atmosphere issues that the tricorder is detecting.
Damn it, Lieutenant Grax! Stop sucking up all the oxygen in the room.
I need it all for my big brain. Well, it doesn't appear that there's anything harmful in the air down here, and I believe the air is breathable. Let's light this up and continue forward.
Tavek approaches and he says, "We should proceed with caution, Lieutenant Grax. You never know what kind of traps or holes or areas you might need to use a whip for." That was a play on your shit. All right, that's it. See everybody later.
I heard that. I heard it.
All right.
Taria follows in and asks Cabal, "Is it sound in here? Or do you think the roof could come down?"
I'm sorry. Who are you?
You
were talking to me?
Yeah.
I was just so bedazzled by the mysteriousness of this chamber. I don't have a tricorder. Can you check the structural integrity, Lieutenant Grax?
I'll do that. Taria, why don't you scan for any defensive measures that might be installed down here?
Ooh, defensive. Nice. Good thinking.
That is really good thinking, Grax. So I'd pull out my tricorder and start scanning for any kind of sensors, like trip sensors and...
Okay. Reason and security difficulty 3.
And I actually have, if it'll count, Starbase/Starship security systems. I feel like that is perfect as a focus.
I think that would work as a focus, absolutely.
Where the hell did that come from? Hey, that was still 2 successes.
Hey, look, we're on par here for 2 in a row. A complication and a success with 2 successes. All right, what are you doing with that complication, sir?
I mean, down to 4 momentum, I feel like I should just kind of deal with it. Unless you guys think I should.
I think it's going to be difficult enough down here. I think we need to mitigate complications, but that's just me. Lieutenant Grax is in charge of this mission.
Grax.
Yes, Taria.
Is nobody paying attention?
Do you think we should spend 2 more momentum to get rid of my complication, or?
Yeah, go for it. We've got 4.
We'll do that.
We'll do that. Okay. So let me bring that up. 2. All right. So your scans bring up the from what from where you're standing at, basically. So what you can see here, the 2 lights on each end, and this giant. It almost looks like
I don't see anything at all on the map if I'm supposed to.
I see the 2.
You see at the bottom of the steps, right? And the one beam of light.
I'm all black.
Are you controlling Taria? Click on Taria.
There is no Taria on my screen, just myself, Turd. Tabletop Tony.
Let me kill them. Hold on.
What is that quote from
Oh, there we
Ghostbusters?
Now,
There is no
now can you
Taria,
control Tari?
only-
Only some.
Only Martok. Sorry, you got control of them now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, your tricorder's picking up what's right in front of you. Basically, these two pillars that seem to be having a pulsing bluish light, and then across the doorway is a translucent blue beam. You can see through it a little bit, but it does extend from top to bottom. And from what the tricorder is reading, it's not sensing any sort of security measures at this point.
Taria, what are we looking at here?
I don't know yet, Grax. All I know is it doesn't seem to be security.
Well, let's find out. And I'm gonna pick up a stone and throw it through.
And the stone goes through without any issue. Nothing happens.
Are there any rats? Can we throw a creature through it?
That's a violation of the Prime Directive. What about these emitters? Can we take a closer look at these emitters from this side of the barrier?
Yeah,
Or
you can
whatever
kind
it
of
is.
see them. They're like, so if that's the entrance, they're sitting like right there, right next to it. So you can pretty much kind of see them, and the blue light kind of goes in between them.
And is there any indication what their power source might be?
Not from where you're standing.
Not from where we're standing.
Notwithstanding.
I'm gonna
Then-
slowly touch the blue field with the finger.
Which finger?
Is it a gloved finger?
This one.
Is it your big toe?
Yeah.
So you remember in what game was that?
Resident Evil with the lasers in the hallway?
No, Forloth, the one where you lost a finger. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. No. So nothing. Nothing.
Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed. As you stick your finger into the blue light, it doesn't seem to do anything.
I push him. No, I don't mean I push him through the light. Don't go into the light!
So you going in?
As I shove him.
I was trying to pull you back, I promise.
Give him the stick.
Yes, I start pushing my hand the rest of the way through it to see.
Okay.
And if nothing bad starts happening, then I just continue to step through.
So you step through. Once you step through, it seems to be almost like an activation. All of a sudden, lights start to flicker and come on. And you can kind of see the room before you. And so, let me get back up here real quick.
Oh, well, then I join him. See, I knew that was what was going to happen.
So in the room here, this bunker that you guys were all looking at from above in scans, it doesn't seem to be as large as you thought it might be. You do hear a low hum that kind of seems to be coming from the center of the room, and the feeling of electricity kind of in the atmosphere as well. In the center, you do see this large block with more pillars on the sides. And you see strange, but familiar shapes sitting next to it. Also, off to the kind of the lower side of it, you kind of do see some flickering of lights that might look like a control panel of a type.
And where is that on the map?
So,
Is it the glowing thing up there?
yeah. So right there or right there.
Okay. Taria, you get on one, I'll get on the other. Let's take a look at these.
If you
Do
say
we
so,
have
sir.
anyone? Do we have anyone back at the entrance watching?
Yeah, you had, what was it? The two ensigns. Ensign Everson and I think it started with a K. Give me 1 second to bring it up, sir.
And is the storm still raging outside?
Yes, it is actually.
As far as we know.
As you guys had entered, you could hear it kind of start to pick up, so it almost seemed like it was a little earlier than normal. Give me 1 second. Surprise.
So we're cut off down here for now. How long did you say these storms last?
A couple hours.
Okay.
I don't know if you're cut off. You haven't tried to communicate to him yet. But yeah, you have Ensign Edwards, Ensign Everson, and then actually Dr. McCall never even came to the site.
And I shout over to the two ensigns. The doors! Keep an eye on the doors!
And this is kind of all you hear.
Is that Kenny?
What?
Yeah.
From which direction?
Up the steps.
From behind
Just
the
like
doors.
Kenny.
That's up the steps.
Wait, where was that noise coming from, Admiral?
You said you shouted up the steps, right? At the
No,
ensigns?
I shouted back at the entranceway. Wait, they're not in with us?
No, they stayed up above.
Oh, sorry. Who are these, Dr.
So, yeah, you have the two Andorians, Dr. Kathee and Dr. Kathee.
Two Andorians?
Yes. Dr. Kathee and Dr. Kellis. I don't know why they show both the Kathee.
Doctor?
And they
Doctor?
offer us nice
Doctor?
toffees.
Doctor?
There.
Well, I point out the doors anyways.
And
Say
you s-
doors! Well, if this was north. North, south, east. Listen to me. North, east, west! Keep an eye on them.
Understood. And they kind of both take up positions right next to it as Morox and Filer come in. And as you guys all step in further to it and kind of step up to the center of this device, along the walls, what appears to be a number of view screens, they activate and they turn on. The lights turn on, but they stay dim. With the lights on, you do also notice several hatches to the left and right, and then to the north, I guess, if we're looking at the north. But other than that, the only way out that appears is through those steps. The view screens, they're shattered. Most of them are shattered. Some of them do have decent displays on them, but it looks like it just might have been due to wear and tear from the rocky ceiling above. So as you can see, there's rubble that kind of sits underneath that.
Are any of the view screens active in so much that we can actually see something? Anything discernible?
Yeah, the one on the bottom left here.
Chariot, take a look at that. What do you see?
Because I'm an elf. You want to know what my elf eyes see?
What's your elven eyes see?
Admiral, what do my elven eyes see?
Well, currently you see a view screen that has a bunch of technical readouts, and it appears to be in a language in a form that is very foreign to you. Nothing at this point that you can see looks familiar.
Well, these
They're
three
like
doors.
diagrams or pictures.
Oh, sorry.
They all seem to be words, and there are diagrams. They're kind of like shapes, but you know, other than being like, oh, that's like a triangle next to a rectangle. What does that mean? That's about all you can put together.
And these three doors, you're saying these are just hatches? They're not actual doors?
They look like hatches.
Are they real?
Is there any
doors?
any evidence of recent activity down here?
Give me a Insight of Reason and Security difficulty 2.
Insight
Or
security?
Reason. Yeah, Insight or
Okay.
Reason and Security difficulty 2.
Okay.
Okay. What you can tell? No. You there is quite a bit of dust on the ground, dust on all the devices. Nothing seems to have been disturbed. You don't see any footprints on the ground. You don't see anything that might resemble a footprint from, you know, times ago, but, you know, maybe they walked in dust and the dust piled on. You don't see any evidence of that. It all looks undisturbed.
That's
Alright.
disturbing.
So
I
there's
want to
no...
see if this door opens for me.
It does.
and then wait to hear what Cabal was about to say.
I was just going to ask, is there any indication, any hint of what this space might have been? What this facility might have been?
Oh, look at that.
No.
Are those,
Nothing that you are familiar with. It could be...
those...
Sorry.
You go.
It could be anything from some sort of a science station, maybe an engineering, basically what you can tell, whatever's in the center of the room seems to be the focus in the room.
And do I at any point trip, knock my head, experience amnesia, and wake up and step outside to be greeted as a god by a proto-Native American society?
That's for future maybes. We're not sure. Maybe you do?
Is that when they do the old school CPR where they lift the legs? Am I referencing the same show?
Yeah, I think so.
Are these idols like the one that's in the thing that started this all off?
Why don't you give me an insight and security difficulty 1.
Oh, Terria, you beauty, you.
You said insight and security?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still probably gonna fail this roll. I'm gonna do a focus of forensic science to forensically determine what I'm looking for. I didn't actually.
You had 1 success. It looks just like the idol you've seen before from the Ferengi.
Hey guys, this looks just like the idol that we saw before from the Ferengi.
I heard that
Love of
before.
the love of the gods, do not touch it.
Well,
Looks like there's one missing.
Does it? No, so it
It
does.
looks like it's there but shaded.
No, I like it. I think you might be right, Lieutenant Grax. Interesting. Wow, you guys are really, really smart. No wonder why you're in charge.
So the other one we determined was some sort of like almost power source. This is Taria now talking out loud. Do you guys think that this is the machine that charges these things?
Or alternatively, does this machine need all 4 idols charging it?
Well, Mr. Engineer, you do check it. Is there a flow of power?
Admiral, can I check for that?
You can do whatever you like, sir. So you're checking...
Whatever you like.
Tell me what you're searching for.
Ah, boy, buddy. The list is longer than you have
The
time
meaning
for.
of life. All right, let's start small.
It's just reading the number 40.
Okay, well, I have a focus in electroplasma power systems. I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna try to scan for flow of tachyons, indicating any sort of pulsation that would imply a power unit.
Okay, there might be many tachyons.
I don't know. I'm making this shit up, man. You know that. So what would that be? Engineering and...
Yeah, reason and science or reason and engineering, difficulty of 2.
Daggone it, I really need a better... Should have given myself a better score.
Did you say you had a focus too?
Yeah, I have a focus too.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was in plasma power, and unfortunately, this is diesel.
Oh, antiquated. You have 1 momentum. How would you like to use it?
Oh, bank that puppy.
Bank it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're scanning this for, let's see here. Okay. So you start scanning this thing, and in front of you, the tricorder just kind of lights up, and you're just getting all sorts of readouts. Not just the fact that it is a powered device, some sort of powered device, but it's actually putting out more power than a Galaxy-class starship. And the tricorder is telling you that it appears to be several thousand years old.
Tell me this. Refresh my memory, please, Admiral. Didn't Dr. What's-His-Face, the leader of the scientific expedition, say that they had replaced the idol back in the center of worship in the nominal church so that they did a swap so that they could do research on the actual idol? Wasn't that
they have the actual idol, and they swapped it with basically like a replica.
And where is that idol now?
At the hub, the science hub.
Oh, I thought they had put it back because it was causing so much problem.
They did originally, then they pulled it back. Actually, let me double check my notes. Hold on. I don't want to be telling you the wrong thing.
I thought you told us that they experienced the same things we did, so they put it back in place.
Let me find it. Okay, how the idol looked.
Because if we had easy access to it, I wonder if anything could be gained by placing it here.
Where is it?
And then we create a Death Star and it starts blowing up all nearby stars. But here's the thing.
In and hear the Windows login tone.
Here's the thing. We have a problem. We have Orions and Ferengi that intend to come back here when the storm clears. There's no way to keep them out of this chamber, and the first thing they're going to do is try to swipe these three idols.
Yeah.
We could set up hollow emitters to deceive them.
Hollow emitters to deceive them.
So that they don't see them here.
They're going to have, but will it mask the emanations from their scanning devices? Because you know they're going to have them.
But aren't the Ferengi going to be scanning for gold-pressed platinum?
Are these made out of gold plus platinum? Whoa! What the hell was that?
Good low embers.
So to answer your question, yes, they did put it back. Sorry for incorrectly saying that. Tavex over here scanning as well. And he looks up at the lieutenant and everybody else, and he says, this device appears to be mobile. There seems to be latches on the ground. It might be wise that we do something and remove this so that the others do not take it.
And move it where? Up the stairs? Let's. We can give it a shot. Where are these latches? See if we can find these latches.
He just he recommends the taking it back to the ship to let the Daystrom Institute study it further.
All right. Well, that's definitely on the to-do list. Why don't we check out where these tubes are going first? These hatches.
So, you guys see a red light kind of come on this device here after you've been in here a few minutes. And it... Where's it at? Starts to pulse.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom.
But there's no sound to it. Nothing's going on.
Does it look like an alarm? Like a notification of some sort? Are there figures and characters, alphanumerics, running across that display screen that's working over where Terry is?
There are. The screen changed, yes.
Does it seem to correspond with when the light came on?
Yes.
Damn it, Terry! What did you do?
I just stepped back here.
Um,
Morax, come over here and help me see if we can interface with this panel. And I want to do a two-man attempt to connect to the computer with our tricorders.
Okay. So just to remind you, when you came in, the only two panels are right here and right here on the device.
I thought you said those were broken and only this one was displaying stuff.
Nope. those are all working fine. It's this one over here that's broken. This one seems to be displaying. These seem to, or appear to be, basically, like the points where, the workstation. Thank you.
Yeah, those were workstations, and that was the only working display. So
correct.
I thought you said.
Yes.
Oh. Well, then I come over here and do that.
Okay.
I go over to Lieutenant Grax and say, Lieutenant Grax, what did you find? Does it look like we could open it?
Admiral, what do I find?
The door
I
opens
would
as you approach it.
Shine my fancy wrist light into the room.
You just see what looks to appear to be a small corridor.
And I push him.
Again. Yeet! And you walk into a corridor. There doesn't seem to be anything in there. It could be a possible maintenance hatch. It could be the potential of something further that maybe got interrupted in its build. But there only seems to be, just appears to be a long hallway.
Okay. Is it all finished stone, or what are the walls made of in here?
I'm gonna need a reason and science difficulty of 2, please.
I search for secret doors.
Okay. You, sir, give me a insight and security difficulty of 2. So, Lieutenant Andal, the readings on your tricorder are made of an unknown material that resembles the look of plastic. The tricorder is trying to further get an analysis, but it is having an issue.
Okay.
Tathak, you find nothing.
Nothing.
You get nothing. 0. Zilch.
Maybe that was a rather long closet.
What about this one up here? To the north.
It opens as you approach.
I like the way Lieutenant Grax moved away from me that time.
Maybe he pushed you. Stuck out his foot. Again, you've entered another corridor that seems to resemble the other one you were just in.
Can I search for secret doors again?
You can. Same roll. Taria, were you doing something about that red light? Hold on a second, Seth.
Working with Morax to try to interface with the panel on our tricorders.
I'll get to you here in a second after 4 last roll. Tathak, how would you like to use that momentum?
Bank it.
Okay. No, you just seem to find endless walls, and nothing that seems to appear to come out of nowhere that seems to be like, oh, this could be hidden, or this is hiding something.
Okay.
So Taria, you're looking to do what now?
Trying to connect to the panel with the tricorder to see if, and in previous scenarios we were able to interface with alien technology and kind of figure it out and translate.
Okay. Reason and security difficulty of 3.
And can I use some momentums? Team.
Lieutenant Grax?
Yes.
I was also roping Morax into this, however she can assist.
So she walks up. She's kind of got a bruised ego because she fell down the steps and she is limping, but she does walk up and she says, "How can I assist, Lieutenant?"
You can assist.
So she'll just be basically an extra 1 dice for you. I'll roll that for you.
4 with the momentum, or are you rolling it?
I'll roll hers, yeah.
Okay.
So you have 2 successes. Okay. So your tricorder starts to read, and it's having trouble looking into the security system, basically, because it's not able to translate what's on the screen yet. So at this time, it can't go any further. You're just kind of, your tricorder's trying to figure it out.
Is that a task that I can just continue to work at, or?
Are you trying to break in? Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you trying to break into the security system or access the security system? Or are you trying to translate it to do that?
Translate it so that I can communicate with it, see what it's trying to read and indicate.
Yeah, reason and science difficulty 2. What were we going to say, Forloth?
Well, I was going to offer an alternative. Why don't we get this thing out of here before the Orions and the Gremlins come back, and try to set up some sort of monitor console system on ship or in the science station.
Do we have the equipment to move this through the ion storm?
We're taking a chance, obviously. But if we wait around, then we know we're going to meet with interference of another sort.
Shouldn't we try and understand it a little bit first? What if moving this thing is like when we removed the first idol, but 3 times as strong?
3 times as strong?
There's 3 things plugged into it.
I think we're running out of time, and if we have to deal with the interference of our friends and neighbors, it's going to complicate things exponentially.
Even if we move it, nothing is going to prevent them from coming down to this science base itself.
Not if they don't know. If we get it out of here, get into the science, there's nothing that can stop us from defending our science station.
Yes.
They can make any argument, very reasonable arguments about gaining access to this space, and we've more or less said we would give them access to this space, that we recognize their rights to that. But anything we have in the science station is Federation property. That's Federation territory.
Well, let's prepare the equipment to get this thing moved and have it ready to move as soon as the ion storm is finished.
Vivek walks up and he says, we have protective devices that could kind of provide a shielding that might help, but its size might not be enough.
Who's saying this?
Commander Tavek,
okay.
the leader of the science team.
I can't see his token. If he's there.
There.
Oh, no, I can't.
No, there it is.
He just morphs in.
What are the conditions on the surface right now? Do we know? Or do we have to go check, actually make do of...
Yeah, you'd have to make do of go checking.
Okay, well, I'm going to do that then.
Okay. While you're doing that, Taria?
Oh, I never got Morox's help on the last one.
Okay. 1 second.
Because that might give me the 1 more success I needed.
And I have a question for Tavek when...
Yep, 1 sec. Un moment. So that success is successful. Your tricorder starts to beep away. Taria. And it starts to bring up a lot of readings. And throughout the scans, you keep seeing a common word. And I'll pronounce it, but I'll spell it for you too. Tilikaal. Tilikaal. But eventually your tricorder is able to translate the language, and it's basically showing you security readouts and that there are intruders in the room. And now there appears to be a countdown as well.
Well, guys, despite checking before, seems to think we're some intruders, and it's counting down to something. Now, give me a moment. I'll see if I can figure out how long this countdown is.
Yes, and also find what maybe systems get powered up at the end of the countdown. Trace the algorithm somehow.
Orloth?
Yes?
You were running upstairs?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you get to the top. Both the ensigns They appear to have left the area. The storm is pretty potent now. There's a lot of plasma lightning everywhere. Debris is flying everywhere. It's pretty strong.
Okay, it looks like we're not going anywhere. And the instead of taking refuge further down the stairs, they actually left
Yeah, they've left.
the instance?
Yeah, you don't know where they went.
All right, I head back downstairs.
Okay.
Any smoldering spots on the ground where they were standing?
There are a pair of shoes sitting here, and it doesn't look right.
Well, the instance have left. Hopefully they're all right. The storm, we're not going anywhere for the time being. What's the status down here?
Well, Tavek, I have a question. Is there anything familiar to you down here as far as what you've seen in the city up above in the present day?
If you're referring to the church and the area around it, we did not. The only thing that is familiar is the idol and the block that it stands on. Everything else appears to be primitive compared to what we're looking at.
I see. Nothing similar in the writing down here? Any of these symbols?
I see no symbols that resemble what we are looking at,
I
Lieutenant.
see. Well, let's take a closer look at these latches.
Okay.
Does it look like there's any sort of, is it just straight up like a latch mechanism and that's it? Or does it look like there's other sensors attached to it, that sort of thing?
Reason in reason in security or reason in engineering difficulty 2. And while he's doing that, Taria, what were you doing? Go ahead. Sorry.
I would bend down and start to look at him and realize that this is out of my area of expertise, and I'd say, Kaval, why don't you take a look at these latches here, and I'll assist you by holding this light.
I go up and take a look.
Okay. Reason in engineering or reason in security difficulty 2.
Do I just roll a d20 to assist?
Yeah, just one.
Oh, son of a...
Sorry, so what's your... Hang on one second.
11.
Okay, so you were not successful. So you had one success. Your tricorders tell you that basically it looks like it seems to be an automated sort of latch. That's about all you can tell, Lieutenant Commander.
Well, surely there must be some way we can trigger with the equipment we have on hand. Surely there must be a way we can trigger the automation to get it to
Calling
release.
me Shirley.
Sorry, I don't know. It's a French accent.
Is there not a button like right there on the latch itself?
No.
Oh, okay.
Valid question. I like the way you think.
While they're doing their thing, now that I'm understanding and communicating with the panel, I do use my security expertise to attempt to turn off whatever countdown
Okay.
to deactivate the security threat status.
Okay. So as you start to scan to do that, give me 1 second here. Where are we at? Okay. So that's going to be a reason and security difficulty 3. And as you're starting to scan and do that, it's going to be kind of incorporated with being before your roll. You see that countdown, it does stop, and you do hear a bit of a charge, an electrical charge, basically.
Oh.
And out from that, oops, where'd it go? Where's my ship? Where did it go? Pop in. FX. FX. No FX. There it is. All right, sorry. Out from that, you see a lightning bolt shoot across you guys.
I knew it.
It misses both of you, and it hits Tavek. And it's oops, didn't mean for it to come from him. It kind of shoves him back, kind of against the wall, and he's on the ground. He's not unconscious, and he's just kind of dazed at this point.
So is he the one who gets amnesia and then goes out and is greeted as a god?
Maybe he has powers now that you could not possibly imagine.
I'm going to try to hack this thing. I have computer as a focus. What? Go ahead.
Tavek, are you okay?
And he's kind
I
of
saw you over there.
he's coughing. The spot that hit him is actually smoldering. He's coughing, and he's like, Lieutenant, give me a moment. I will regain my composure. That hurt.
Please, it looked like it hurt. Please allow me to take a look.
Feel free. In that countdown that you were looking at, Taria, it seems to have reset.
What's the control attribute? What is that based in?
What do you mean?
Like, if you're using control as an attribute, what does that cover?
I will tell you. Un moment.
Because I thought it...
Controlling yourself, precision, accuracy, timing, performance, precise work, timing and accuracy, resisting mental issues.
Now, could I possibly use that as my attribute for working on the security system here, because I'm having to use timing and accuracy in order to subvert systems?
Yep. Yeah. Like, at any point, I give you a roll and you guys are like, what is this? I could use this better. As long as you can properly explain it, that's fine. It makes sense compared, with the wording and stuff. You guys it's an open verse here, so.
I'm also going to go to the, I'll go around to the other side. Get out of your way.
And I'm using my Starbase security systems focus.
Okay.
You guys mind if I use another momentum?
Go for it.
Do it.
All right. So.
Nice.
All right. Do you want me to get to you first, Porloth, or do you want me to give him the results?
Give him the results, by all means.
So, as you start to look at these readouts, you kind of figure out an algorithm, basically, that the system's going through. And you come across what looks to be the proper wording or the proper route that you wanted to go with the folders and the sensors and the layers of security that are in there. And as you do that, you kind of come to a point where it says modify, disable, add to system.
So I modify it to recognize us as users as opposed to threats.
Okay. And then with that, because the button's already there, you're not even going to have to roll anything. The red light shuts off and a green light above Morox turns on. And the countdown disappears and it appears to be a normal screen.
Guys, I got the countdown to go away, and there's a green light now. I think we all agree universally that's good things.
The red thing is approaching the green thingy, and yeah, that's good. Well done. So, Admiral, I want to attempt daring and engineering to hack this system. Daring when acting based on instinct. I'm just going to let my engineering, and I also have computers as a focus.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna hack this baby, pop it wide open.
And so, are you attempting just to be able to basically get complete access?
Yes.
Okay. So that's going to be a difficulty of 3, sir.
Guys, do we still have any? We have 1 momentum.
Yep.
Can I use it?
Go for it.
Oh wait, did I have any excess momentum on my roll?
Oh, yeah, you did. Thank you. Sorry.
Gotta watch him. Always watch him like a hawk.
He's a son of a bitch. Were you going to use that for more information or more special, like a?
No, I'm gonna bank it just because we're low.
Okay.
I think we both added it there.
So can I add an additional die?
Yes.
Yes.
So die in pool. Is that where I
3.
do that?
Yes. So you will choose 3.
Okay.
Trace. Tray. Trois. Look at you.
3
You've got
successes.
3 successes. You start to type away with your blue fingers, and with ease almost, you seem to be able to gain access now to the system now that Taria has taken down the security elements. And as you do that, she basically had just modified the system. Each one of you in the room, or basically in this vicinity, up to Lieutenant Andal's spot, a beam of light comes from one of these pillars closest to that individual. And it's a bluish light, and it kind of comes out at all of you, and it seems to scan your body, and then goes back in, and the system continues to act normal.
So what that means, we're authorized users now. We're on the. We've been whitelisted. Right? Is that what you call it? Is that what you call it, Seth?
Yes.
Okay. So now that we have access, I'm gonna pop the. Give the command to pop the clasps.
The clasps?
restraining clasps. Yes.
Okay. That's easy for you. Reason and engineering difficulty of 1. Do you have a focus of clasp releasing?
Declasping.
I do not.
Declamp. Declaw.
While he's
Isn't it
doing that, am I able to check my panel to see if I can get information on this machine's purpose?
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Nice.
So you have 2 successes. So, real quick, Taria, your basically request for information is going to be an insight and science or insight and command. It's still going to be a difficulty of 3. Kaval, as you push the buttons. Oh, look at that hair. Look at that hair, everybody.
Can I do it as Morox instead?
No. You can ask her to help if you want.
Hey, Morox. See if you can figure out what this machine is.
She's kind of hesitant, but she says, okay, and starts typing away. Kaval, as you push that button, those latches do kind of do a hiss, and then you see them all start to go, and they start to release. Let me do her real quick. Oops, just so that she doesn't get any, because I was supposed to be the first dice, sorry. So you have 2 successes, so you're not able to really dig too far into the system at this point. Taria.
Cabby.
As you all are standing there, you hear an unmistakable sound, basically right at the entrance. Let me find it. And that sound... Where the hell did they go?
It's the sound of a Ferengi's laughter.
Is actually the sound of a Ferengi transporter.
Ah, son of a...
And 5 of them all stand at this entrance, all armed, all pointing in one direction or another at an individual.
Everyone close your eyes!
And wouldn't you know it, your best friend is standing right there at the front. His name is Kullat.
Wait, I know what it...
And he looks at you all, and he says, "Thank you for doing the heavy lifting. I will make sure to tell my superiors how helpful the Federation was in retrieval of this device. And I'm certain it'll fetch a hefty sum of latinum. Rule of acquisition number 9, gentlemen. Opportunity plus instinct equals profit."
I wouldn't do that if I was you, Kullat. This thing has a security defense system. It's already mortally wounded Commander Tavek. You could be next.
He glances over to Vec on the ground, and he looks back at you, and... "You blueskin, you can't fool me with your vague and open threats. They're all fake. Look at that.
He may look okay, but his brains, they're entirely scrambled. He's a vegetable.
It's too bad,
I'm warning you.
Andorian. You two will become curiosity for future archaeologists."
I do also want to point out, add a character that kind of like he said with whitelisting, all I had done for the security was mark the people that were already in the room as non-threats.
So here, I'll do this, since I did say earlier that it did have a bit of a reach, right? Let me find my explosive token. I always click it, but never get it. There it goes. All right, so hold on. So we'll do it from here. There. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
On the map? Basically, that's the radius that it reached out. When it did happen, you would have noticed that Tavak did not get scanned, nor did the 2 Andorians at the door get scanned. So I'll kill that. But just so you're aware. And the 2 Ferengi kind of move in, and you'll see 5 standing there. The 2 do have phasers pointed at the Andorians, and they con them into giving up their phasers too, and kind of push them up a little bit.
Admiral, I duck.
You duck.
I duck.
Okay. All right. So you duck. Nothing happens.
And I take out my my phaser.
Oh, okay. That's what's going on. Anything else anybody wants to do before we potentially head into combat here?
I'm just waiting to see what happens when they get up there and try and pick it up.
Can we reach the ship? If they were able to beam in, that implies that we might be able to contact the ship.
Possibly. Yeah.
Hit my communicator. Wall to bridge. Wall to the USS Surprise.
You get static.
What else is new?
Maybe they're busy having some lunch. Maybe it's the depths at which this bunker seems to be that's disrupting the communication.
Reinach was supposed to be sending a security team down, like, after the storm, right?
Yes.
I feel like we had talked about. Okay.
You did. So you get another sound. That really wasn't the sound I really wanted. I'm sorry. Disregard that sound. Take it out of your memory.
Your transport.
Surprise crew! Surprise landing crew! To me!
Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. And it's on repeat too. Good.
Surprise
There.
landing crew. Get on this side of the device.
Morox heeds his advice and moves around. And so does Filer, kind of like, oh my god, I don't want to do this. But that sound also is Captain Tullum and his band of Orions. But they all are on the outer edge here. And Tullum steps forward, looks at you, Lieutenant Grax, and then looks at the Ferengi. What is going on?
Well, the Ferengi here are trying to help themselves to this device.
And do you plan on giving it to them?
I'm certainly not giving them permission.
So we spoke earlier, Cap, or Lieutenant. Does it still stand?
What are you asking about that still stands?
Translation? I don't remember the deal we made.
These Ferengi, they don't need to be leaving with this device. And if we can help you with that and keep it from their hands, we just want to be compensated.
Compensated how? I shout from the other side of the device.
Those terms can be discussed later. I think we have more pressing things like phasers in our midst. And the two Andorians kind of approach, and you do see that beam again that go out, and as they get into that area, it covers their faces, and the light remains green on the block. And the Ferengis kind of eye that, and he steps forward a little bit, and he's like, "What did you do?"
Hey, Taria, come help me with something.
Okay.
What say you, Lieutenant?
We had a deal, and I'll stick to it.
So you see the Orions rush almost with haste, kind of blocking the way. And as I stated earlier, that beam of light that kind of shoots out, it's able to reach Captain Tullum and one of the other Orions. And when it does that, the light turns red. But they don't notice it because they're facing towards the Ferengi. Now what's going... Now, hold up! What kind of deal have we made?
Do we want to warn them? Well, they're... at present, they're protecting us from the Ferengi, so... Anyway, I'll shut up.
Taria. I whispered to Taria, help me push this forward.
Are you talking about the whole device?
Yeah.
Can do.
All right.
He unclassified it.
Both of you...
Can I help Tavek up and, like, pull him back to right here with me?
Yeah, you guys are kind of still... I mean, you do it. Nothing happens with the Ferengi. But you're able to do that. Both of you trying to use your brute strength to move this thing. Give me a control or daring and fitness and security, please. Difficulty of 2 for both of you. Now, Starfleet. All I ask is that you let me take this, and I shall let you live. You'll see how easy this could be. You just get out of the way, Greenskin. and he doesn't say anything. He just has his. All the Orions have disruptor rifles, which, if you guys recall from your holodeck episode, those aren't to be messed with.
Understood. We have 4 successes.
You do. So you were both successful in your ability to move this thing, and it does move forward, probably about maybe a foot, give or take.
Is it like on wheels or anti-gravity lift?
No, it's just brute force. They're just pushing this thing across the ground.
Screeching.
Now that, yeah. So, I mean, they all hear it. The Orion, like one of the Orions kind of glances over his shoulder like, what is going on? But you hear the scraping on the metal. And Kolar is kind of peering past the Orion at this point, like, you will stop what you're doing. Which that pushes the device. Let me measure here. That gets the all 4 Orion in the picture, and it too scans them. And it's not a blue light that scans them now; it's a red light.
Can we push it again?
Yeah, give me another reason in security.
And Taria
Fitness.
calls out, "What do you
Fitness
mean?
and security.
Stop! I thought this is
Or
what
sorry,
you wanted."
fitness and security. What do those beams of light mean? What's going on? So
Damn it!
you're getting winded. Maybe it's the extra time on 10 forward, Caval. Maybe it's the Andorian donuts that you've been chowing down on off in your off time. So you're able to get it moved, but your side kind of lags behind. So you do kind of see the device kind of start to cock as Taria helps push
Carries all the
her
way.
ankle. Yeah.
Got it.
So it does it also, and it's now able to scan this Ferengi in Kolar, and it's a red light. And when it does that, he's kind of glancing about, and this Ferengi steps back, and he also kind of steps back at the entrance.
One more time. Push it one more time.
If you could stop pushing the device.
This is what you asked for.
And the Orion kind of gets a grin on him now. His weapon really isn't at the ready as it was. It's kind of up like this, but the other 3 are still at the ready in case something happens. But he seems to be enjoying what's going on at this point. Same thing.
Same thing. Give it another push.
I have a question for you, Admiral, when you're
Sure.
done with that.
Yes.
Go ahead. Do you want me to finish? Do you want me to do the roll?
Me?
Yeah. Before I assist you.
Just quick question. The
Yes.
bridge crew was watching for the Orions and the Ferengi to beam down, right? Would they have detected that they came down here?
They were already on the surface. They got down there somehow. They walked away from the site, but as far as you know, they never left.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if they went back to a shuttle. You don't know if they beamed out. They just walked off into the forest and disappeared.
Into the forest.
Okay.
You're able to push that up a little more, and it now scans the remaining Ferengi. And you see the countdown on both the screens, because it's kind of like a dual screen there, and it also pops up over here on the corner. And it starts to count down. But give me 1 second. Okay. Kolar does not notice that screen on the left as he seems to be worried about the red light, you guys pushing it forward, and the 4 Orion kind of blocking the way. And as it gets closer, the one Ferengi, he tucks tail and runs off. And Kolar kind of like glances and shakes his head. This is what I get for hired help. One less piece of latinum for you! And he turns back and he says, And he brings up his phaser this time, and then all four Orion kind of shook up. And at that point, the security countdown gets into the double digits instead of the triple. And Kolar looks around and he says, I see that I appear to be outnumbered. You bunch of turncoat Orions. You guys. And the other one kind of steps back along with the other three. Kolar looks and he says, I will have that device. And,
No, you won't.
and he turns extremely fast, and they all run out of there with haste. Up the hill, or up the steps, and out. And so all the Orions kind of turn back to you. They appear to be gone now. You guys can come out from hiding. But can you do something about that light? I don't like the way it looks.
Step on the other side of the safety barrier there, and I point to the blue light.
So the safety barrier, it just was basically the distance in which you got scanned. So it at this point right
but
now,
it still sounds good. Yeah, but it still sounds good.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure what you were saying.
I don't know if it's a safety barrier. I mean,
Okay, sorry, I didn't know where you were going with that. I now know where you're going with that. So they step forward.
No, not forward.
Oh, which one? Back here? This one?
back here.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they step back, and they're standing at this little beam of light.
All right.
Are we
I
safe?
stealthily hit pause on the countdown. Can I do that? Just pause it without deactivating it, or
Yeah,
changing
the red
parameters?
light turns off.
Oh, that would turn it off.
It would. You know that now.
All right. Well, I know that now. That works just well enough.
Okay. Is it safe to move forward?
I time it so it looks like it happens when they step backwards.
Okay. Is it safe to move forward?
Only for us in here doing the research. You'll have to stay away while we investigate this device.
We had a deal. I help you with the Ferengi. You
Yes,
compensate
of course,
me.
and you will get paid. Now you can continue to do your job as security there at the entrance, or wait in your ship. But you will get payment once we are completed with our research.
Kind of looks at you. Give me a presence and command, please.
Presence, command, and I would like to use my diplomacy focus.
Ooh. Okay, all right.
Can I add 1 die with our momentum? You guys okay with that?
Yep.
I'll subtract for you.
Not bad.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay.
Wow, okay.
He's staring at you now. He's kind of sizing you up and says, I believe I can trust you, Lieutenant Grax. But do not make the mistake of double-crossing me.
Wait a second. Does that say 5 successes?
Does.
Are you gonna bank those?
He's got
Yes.
Well, it basically was going to be an opposed
roll?
check at this point
Oh, gotcha.
on whether or not Tullum believes. So
Gotcha.
basically,
Gotcha.
Grax could have been like, "Look, we're about to give you $10 million. It's up the steps." He would have believed it based on that roll. So
I would have believed it.
we will see you on the surface.
The true treasure was the friends we made along the way. You've accepted this as payment. Thank you, and good night.
And they make their way up the steps. And Tavek kind of walks out, and he's he's still kind of rubbing his shoulder. I think it's time we remove the device from this bunker for the safety's sake.
I absolutely agree, Commander. The question is, where do we take it now? I presumably presumably, if I log back in, there must be some sort of motivation mode. But will it climb the steps?
Taria says, I think it might be worth checking at least one more time to see if we can figure out what it does before we remove it from here.
Well, Tavek was saying that they have equipment to transport this thing, but I'm also concerned about what might happen once this passes through the barrier over there.
Ooh, good point. Although, when we went through the barrier, the lights went up. It could be something as simple as that.
But it could be
This is
like
true.
Self-destruct?
could be like the temple in the Crescent Valley. You know, if we pass the seal with this, the whole place could come down while the Grail Knight just goes like this.
Did you even drink from the cup of Christ? Tavek approaches when you had mentioned the use of the equipment, and he says that is correct. We have grav lifts that we can use to support this and move it with ease.
Yeah, okay. Well, great. Then I try to log in again and see.
Sorry.
Fantastic,
Tavek.
guys.
Oh, great.
Tavek, then
Well done.
why don't you
Let's
take
Take 5,
Tathi and
smoke.
Kalis?
Got him.
Yeah. Take Tathi and Kalis and get that equipment, bring it down here.
Got some granola.
I'm gonna do some sort of function search, see if I can riddle out what this thing does. Since I've gained access,
And Morox will help.
Okay.
become one.
The two Andorians zip out of there to get the equipment. So you're just trying to see what it does?
Yeah, if there's any sort of clue as to its primary function. You know, does it have a banner over the login that says this
The
device
Annihilator.
is...
No, but kind of going back to when Taria was scanning, you do notice again, now that everything's translated, you just notice this word that keeps coming across, and it's the Kullat. Again,
Kullat.
that just keeps popping up. So if you're trying to get an idea of how it works, it's a several thousand-year-old piece of equipment with some tricorders. We can do a bit of a extended
not really
task.
not really interested in doing that here. Just what its primary function is. Can we do like a word search, a term search on Kullat in our database?
On the system?
In our database.
Oh,
Not on the system. In Federation database.
yeah,
You
you can.
check
You should,
Federation database. I'll check the system.
okay, so
Okay.
that would be basically kind of through the tricorder, in its use. And same thing for you, Kullat or Taria. So it's going to be a reason and science difficulty of 2.
And I mean, I guess that would be giving me. I'm going to say, can I use forensic science as a focus with the understanding that I'm assuming I won't get a direct definition. I mean, maybe I will. But if I don't get a direct definition of this word, I'm using the forensic science to just kind of cross-reference to the word to get a context for it.
Okay. Yeah, so it's still going to be a reason in security difficulty 2.
Yeah. This is not my strong suit. I defer to somebody else who has a science background to do the word search in the Federation database. 0 successes. At least no complications, buddy.
Right?
So, as you're typing into the tricorder, you're not finding anything, Taria, that would reference the word as just as a word or a reference or a race or anything. You're not finding anything on it.
Chabby.
And Kaval, were you doing the same thing on that computer there?
No.
Okay.
we reattempt communication with the ship? Maybe the plasma storm's over and that was the interference?
You can do whatever you want, sir.
Come in, USS Surprise. This is Taria.
Static again. So it's probably about 5, maybe 10 minutes later. It doesn't take long. Cabal would know that Andorians are fast in their efforts and their diligence. Both Kathee and Kellis are immediately down the steps with the grab devices, and they look around and they said, Kathee kind of walks up and she says, both ensigns are gone. I assume that they have gone back to the science hub because of the plasma storm, but it does appear to be starting to lighten up.
Let's go. Let's do this.
She starts to hand out the grab devices. She had brought enough for everyone down there. So what is that, 8 people?
If Lieutenant Grax approves. Lieutenant?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So Tavek kind of gets into a position. Kathee gets into a spot. So does Filer. And so does Morox. Where's everybody else going?
Yeah, just basically where I am now.
Okay. I'm going to need from everybody, control and we're going to do security here. Everybody a difficulty of 2. Okay.
Bam! 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 Oh, you suck, Filer.
Filer's hands were
I'm going to need to hear it in the proper voice, okay? And one more.
Oh, jeez.
And there we are. Okay. So Filer and Kalis.
Aren't
Okay.
pulling their weight.
They aren't pulling their weight. But it doesn't seem to really affect too much since all of you have a grav device. It does, as everybody kind of points it at it and sets it up, it does kind of levitate up. And it seems to be free to be moved about now.
We make our way up the stairs.
Okay. So you guys are making your way then through the entrance?
Yep. Steady. Steady.
Steady. So you cross the entrance, and all of the lights inside the area, they all start to flicker, and then they all start to shut off, one by one.
That's fine. No need to panic.
Oops.
It's just like the coolers in the supermarket. It's okay.
And even
Let's
the
take
beam,
calm.
where the beam was, those shut off as well. So it's all black. You guys are at the bottom of the steps, and nothing is happening. The device does still appear to be functioning. You can still see the green swirl and glow on it, and the pillars that it seems to be attached to, they also are glowing. Are we continuing up the steps?
Yes, we are.
Has anything changed with the idols? The 3 that are in there?
Just by looking at it, not that you can tell.
Okay.
Okay, so we're all going up the steps. Okay, for my 4 main characters, give me a daring and security difficulty 2. Okay.
Use a Lieutenant Andal. Use a momentum, please. Use our last momentum. Get rid of that
Takes
complication.
2.
Ah, crap.
Takes 2.
Yep.
Okay.
What is
You're
a crush?
What's that? Who does it crush? Why did that have to crush somebody? Maybe it's not going to be somebody that gets crushed. So you're walking up the steps. Again, remember that was a lot of loose gravel, some boulders here and there, years and years and centuries and days of dust. Grax, you lose your foot, and
He loses his foot.
you lose your footing. Excuse me. You lose your footing, and when you do so, you kind of push against the device, and it pushes against the wall. So, yeah, there's a ding, and there's some scraping.
Oh, jeez. I just had this thing waxed and buffed.
Careful, everyone.
Careful, everyone.
I told him he wasn't drinking enough milk.
He's a son of a bitch. So you make it to the top. As far as you can tell, there hasn't been any issues to the box. Where are you guys taking this back to?
My house.
Okay. Is it just
You guys
down the
can
street?
come visit it.
Is it in the trees?
Research station. Put it in the research base.
The science
That
hub?
way that way it's can be studied there. It's inside our area that's controlled, and
Or
we're not immediately leaving with it in case it blows shit up.
Or we could just put it on the shuttle. I'm just spitballing here.
I'm going to throw a bone out also because it's been 2 weeks since we played. Just remember, Kaval, you put out transport enhancers too.
I put out transport enhancers?
At the dig site. Remember to get all the equipment down?
Oh, so they're there? They're still there.
Yes.
Well, then we could just transport this puppy right out of here.
I mean,
do it.
Taria still maintains that it shouldn't be removed from the local area until we understand its function. So that's exactly what caused the issue in the first place.
And that's valid. That's entirely valid. But we know how to make a containment field. 1, and 2.
Well,
if we got this back on the ship, we wouldn't have to worry about the Orions and the Gryffindors.
well,
Ferengi.
The Orions are working for us.
I don't think we have to worry about them anyways now. I mean, the Ferengi might try something, but no, we've got the Orions helping us now too.
So you're for leaving it on the planet?
Yeah.
In the science area. I mean, we've got that area
Right.
under security control.
For them to research and do their job.
Okay.
You know, just decide that they should be the ones to decide.
All right. I defer to your leadership. You're both wrong, but I defer to your leadership.
So you're
For all we
saying
know,
Why are we wrong?
The,
though?
the multiple things being hooked to it, it could be an exponentially stronger field that this thing puts out. So you're wrong.
so whatever you're gonna do,
Colonel Sanders.
you don't know.
Mama said.
Um,
Mama said, "Don't take strange alien devices home with you, so you know what they do."
You don't know me.
So go ahead and act that out for me, Lieutenant Grax. What are you doing? How are you saying this?
Everything that I just said.
You saying it to Tavek?
Yeah.
How
I mean,
far
I
are we?
would just be having that conversation with Cabal and then turn to Vec and see what he
Oh, we're right
says.
there.
Kaval, you know you're not that far from the science hub, but it is the swamp. Tavek would say, Lieutenant, and while I appreciate your confidence in our abilities, if you recall, we came down here as a initial survey team. We did not expect to find what we found. Based on our security, the issues with the Orions and the Ferengi, and your sensors and science stations on the ship, I would recommend that it be taken to the ship and not left on the surface.
Bam!
Very well. There we go. I will follow your recommendation.
Oh, sure. When it was my recommendation, no one gave a shit.
Well, you're a lieutenant commander, and he's a commander. You know, might have something to do with that. I think he's trying to start some shit.
Well, enough of the discussion. Slap these. I don't know. How does it work? Do you slap the transporter stabilizers directly onto the device?
Enhancers?
No, I think
The
you set
enhancers?
them up like a little perimeter thing, and you stand in the middle of them.
Yeah,
pray
they
to-
were basically.
Pray to the transporter guards?
Like little tripod pylons.
Yeah.
Well,
Here, I'll do this.
we do that.
And
Taria-
Taria just kind of turns and records herself on her tricorder saying, "Well, I told you so." And then she puts it in her pocket and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was just leaving something for later."
Taria,
Damn.
help me set up the stabilizers. Enhancers.
Right away, sir.
So, two of them were knocked down during the storm, and that's the two, one right here and one right here. You don't really see it. It's just I have a light there to kind of symbolize it, because when you touch them, they turn
While
on.
we're doing that, Lieutenant Grax, Lieutenant Andal Grax, could you contact the bridge now and let them know what's coming their way?
Yes, of course. Bridge, do you read?
Only when they have. Never mind.
Yeah, they're not literate.
This is Maricotti. Do you have an update?
You have to flick your hair.
Good to hear your voice, Captain. We have a device that we've secured from the bunker, and we're ready to get that beamed up along with the crew and all of our equipment.
And you do have contact and comms, and you're hearing him, but it is very staticky still, and it's probably due to the plasma storm. And you are very out of focus, unless you're doing that on purpose, because you're being affected. There you go, being affected by the plasma storm. So the words are there. It just sounds like an old McDonald's drive-through speaker, in terms of glitches and static. And the captain says, "Understood, Lieutenant. We will do our best to try and get a lock on the equipment and you all, and beam you aboard."
What about the shuttle? Who's going to fly the shuttle back?
Taria will fly it back.
Oh, she can't go by herself. I'll escort Taria. Well, no, somebody needs to go up with this thing.
Yeah, it should be the resident engineer.
All right, but somebody please
We
go with
can-
Taria, so she's not on the ship herself. On the shuttle herself.
Moroc's
Moroc's
volunteers.
Okay.
Okay.
You can go too. You can go. Morok
Let's just
steps back
transport
as the
the shuttle.
lieutenant. No. Yeah, Morok steps back and it allows you to go forward, Lieutenant Grax. So, from the ship, I'm gonna do a roll. Okay. Okay. One other thing. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Did I just
Okay.
have Jack there?
You did. So in front of you all, those that said they were going, where are we at?
Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye.
Bye-bye!
So let's see. Cabal transports and disappears. The device transports and disappears, but Filer does not. Filer kind of seems to be staticky, and then he reappears onto the surface. What? And Lieutenant Grax, you are getting a comm badge.
This is Lieutenant Grax.
Yeah, we lost Lieutenant Commander Cabal.
So you see, you hear, this is Lieutenant Eel. We have Lieutenant Commander and this device in our shuttle pad in one of the storage bays. I couldn't get a lock due to the plasma storm on the 3rd. You're gonna have to make your way up.
Are you trying again to get to third?
We're working on that. I will keep you updated.
Understood.
So the rest of you go into the shuttle?
Yep.
Okay.
And we take Filer.
Yeah, you'll come down there. So I'll move you all down to the shuttle.
That works.
So Tavek looks at you and he kind of nods, and Lieutenant Grax, I don't shake hands because I'm Vulcan, but I would like to commemorate you on your
Rude.
abilities and your leadership on this mission. My crew will be staying here to clean the site and make sure anything that's left over cannot be discovered or utilized by the Orions. You have the device. I'm going to need you to take that back to Starfleet Command at the Daystrom Institute.
Very well, we will do that, and I'd like to thank you for your support in this mission. Please, if you would, leave a positive review about my performance down here, and I would do the same for you, of course.
Please give me full stars.
His eyebrow raises up, and he just kind of nods, and you see them all head back into the science place, in the science hub. And Morox is already at the rear of the shuttle, opening it up to try and get in. And it opens up, no issues. Everybody else getting in?
Hey, don't leave all that equipment down there, is what I would say if I was there.
You know, Tavek has now some extra equipment that he could use. How's that? Sep, you guys are getting ready to fly then?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Who's flying?
Who's most equipped to?
Control and con.
Is it presence? Oh, control.
Yes.
I've got control 11, but con 1.
Control and con, daring and con.
I guess I'll do it. Looks like I'm not too bad at it.
Okay.
Control
Difficulty.
and con.
Yes, it's going to be a difficulty of 1, please. There we are. So the shuttlecraft powers on, no issues. As far as you can tell, it's ready to go. You getting ready to leave? You ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. All right. So you lift the shuttle off. You're starting to get an alert on your console there. Where are we at here? And you're getting an alert on the actual panel itself.
All right. Is there like an actual screen in this shuttle that I can put it up on?
Yeah, it'd be on your terminal in front of you.
Okay. I'll pull up whatever that alert is for.
And it says, propulsion unavailable.
I'll try and like pull up the this, you know, the, I guess the schematics or the systems and try and analyze what's going on.
Computers and con, difficulty 1.
Control and con?
Oh, sorry. Yes, control and con. Sorry, I was thinking of the ship. Okay. What are you doing with the momentum?
I guess extra information.
Okay.
If that's possible.
Yep. The computer chimes in and says, there's a local dampening field around the left nacelle.
Around what cell?
The left nacelle. The nacelle is the power beam on the side of the ship.
Gotcha. Okay. The computer here is telling me that there's something dampening something else. And I would just kind of be talking to myself like that as I'm walking to the back to go outside and actually physically look on that location of the ship.
Okay. Since you're looking, insight and security difficulty of 2. You're not seeing anything with your eyes.
There's something keeping us from lifting off. I don't know what's wrong with the ship. This isn't quite my area of expertise. Although there is a nagging thought at the back of my head that we've been sabotaged.
I scan with the tricorder.
Okay. Same thing. Or sorry, you're going to be reason and security difficulty of 1. You find a small device. The tricorder is telling you there's a small device that seems to be attached to the nacelle.
Can I find it based on what the tricorder is telling me?
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of up underneath. Actually, you know what? It's right in front of you. Lieutenant Grax just needs to get better glasses.
You just didn't know what a nacelle was.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little pod, and it's stuck on the side of the nacelle.
Like, think of the original Enterprise ship. They were the 2 big things behind the disc.
Yeah, okay.
So I look at it without touching it. Can I tell, like, does it look like it's Ferengi technology or Orion or...
It looks like it's Ferengi technology.
Okay, then I would, before attempting to remove it, I would hit comms to the ship and ask them to... I'd send them my scans and basically tell them what I've got and ask them... Taria, to surprise, I've got some sort of Ferengi dampening field that's been attached to our left nacelle. Can you tell me from these readings if it's safe to touch and remove?
Stand by, Commander. And Captain Mercati turns to Kullat. He says, Kullat, see if you can get a localized scan of that. So, Kullat, sir, from you, I'm going to need a reason in science. Difficulty 1, I will do the ship's roll. It'll be sensors in science. Okay, so you have 2 momentum.
Bank 1 and extra information on the other.
So Kullat knows his shit and is able to scan it, looks it up in the system, and he says you should be able to take it off.
Taria, you should simply be able to remove the device, and that will deactivate the hold it has on your nacelle. Copy that, Kullat. She goes ahead and she pulls it off.
Okay. We got full power! That was Filer. If you guys didn't know that, he was inside the ship.
I was worried that was a Ferengi. The trap is sprung! And I would say, Commander Kullat, can you also do a scan around our area to make sure there's no one standing right here watching us? Of course, Tar.
How's it feel? How's it feel?
Kulat's does a biosignature scan to make sure there's no ambush around the ship.
You're looking for Ferengis?
Yep.
Okay, reason and science, same roll.
Well, I'll use those momentum if you guys don't mind to get rid of the complication.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so he finds no Ferengis in the local area, and by local, the surrounding area of the ship. He did state that the ship did fly down to the surface and has yet to return, so it's likely still down there, but they're not detecting it due to the plasma storms.
What's his cue?
All
Alright, Andor, I'd say,
let's
let's
take off.
take off, but keep an eye out in case anything jumps out at us.
You got it.
Okay.
And I lift off, go to the ship.
So, last one, Daring and Con, please. Daring and Con. Difficulty of 1. Okay, the ship takes off, and as you start to come up, you are still experiencing quite a bit of turbulence. The plasma storm is still active, but it does, as stated earlier, it does seem to be starting to dissipate. There are still lightning strikes, yet none of them have hit your ship yet. In the distance on your panel, you are getting another alert. And that's the alert you get.
What's it say?
It says that there's a Ferengi runabout or Ferengi shuttle en route to your location. And that is where we'll end.
Oh.
And that is where we'll end. So we'll go around again and we'll chat with everybody on their thoughts. There'll be one more episode, absolutely one more episode. It'll be a tense one. So we'll see how everybody's going. We'll start with our engineer, Lieutenant Commander Kaval. What's going through your head, sir?
I think this has been a successful mission. I know nothing of the difficulties they're having getting off the planet. I'm intent on ensuring we have some sort of shielding in place to keep this this device from getting up to any shenanigans.
And the human playing Kaval, what's your thoughts? Anything differently? Kaval? Anything different other than what your Andorian side is thinking? Borlas?
Sorry, what? I'd already zoned out.
I was saying, was there anything else like other than what your Andorian side was thinking? Like you as a player, was there anything you were thinking?
Oh, I'm loving this. I miss the captain, and our resident Grazerite. But no, this is good. This is a lot of fun.
Good. All right, now you can go back to zoning.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And to our pointy-eared friend, Commander Kullat, also playing Taria, played by Hades.
Taria is happy so far. Things have gone fairly well for them, but she is doing a concern based on having found that. She knows Ferengi are ruthless, and even though Kullat didn't pick up anything on scans, she's now, on alert as to what might be around them and waiting for them. And personally, it's a fun game. It's I kind of like how it worked out there. We didn't have to directly, get into conflict with the Orions and the Ferengi. Last episode, Sev was able to, work out that deal. In this episode, we were able to leverage it and the technology without having to directly threaten anyone. So I feel like that was some close to what Star Trek's supposed to be when it comes to conflict.
Here.
Yeah. And the star of the show and the away team, Lieutenant Grax.
Wow, star of the show. Well, Grax
Sorry, star of the
is,
away mission. How's that?
Yeah. Grax is feeling very good about this mission. He thinks that the whole team's done a great job. Can't wait to, get this device back and get it studied more, see what they've found, and wrap up this mission with a 5-star review. But he was kind of expecting the Ferengi to show up, but not like midair like this with half the team. So we'll see how this goes. But for myself, playing this game, it's been a lot of fun. I'm really liking the scenario, and even though there's not a whole lot of action, combat, that sort of thing, it's been tense the whole time because we don't know what's happening, and we had a standoff in that bunker and stuff. So yeah, it's been interesting. Can't wait to see where it goes.
Awesome. And it's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun for me. A lot of extra twists and turns for me to do for you guys. And I'm having a lot of fun running it. We will have one more episode to finish. So we'll figure out a date and we'll post it up to let you all know as well. It'll be another Wednesday at 7. So probably in a couple weeks here. We'll see if we can figure it out, keep the momentum going. If we can do it sooner, we will. If not, that's okay as well. Thank you to you three for playing. This was a lot of fun. Vallard and Tex, thanks for hanging out for the stream and chatting with us. Matt Alpha, I'll have that YouTube episode up for you shortly so you can view it. If you all want to stick around, we'll do a quick raid. That's all I have currently for games, right? Nothing else is on the agenda right now for the summertime?
Not yet. Just lots of things that we're trying to get scheduled and find time for.
Find time for, yeah. Thus is summer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, thank you again for everybody. We will send you off to the end screen here, and then we'll ship you to a raid. Thanks again for hanging out. Live long and prosper, everyone.